Greetings, everyone. It is January, I don't even know anymore, the 8th. I'm in Southern California and we're having a lot of fires here. And so it's very hard to focus on anything else. Um, Someone close to me lost their home, and I'm not near the fires. I feel relatively safe in terms of topography, but it's bad from what I've seen. There's a lot of, it's, I don't know. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not a journalist. I don't have any facts on this. But I can just tell you that as a psychic, it's distressing. And, um, I also have a history with fires. So I've been in fires, and so, PTSD. But I just would like to ask everybody to send their prayers to all the people in the Los Angeles area who are fighting fires, who are losing their homes, who are running for their lives, and just send a lot of love this way today. And, I did get a bunch of new information last night about the joust in the world and the state of the world post-joust. And so I'm grateful for that. But I'm also a little bit annoyed that my focus was on the world and I wasn't able to focus on the fact that my family member was going to lose her house. Like I had an inkling. I wasn't able to warn anybody. And so this is the thing when you're a psychic, especially if you do precognition, we want to always be able to use our gifts to help people that we care about. And I've done that in my life, but then sometimes, our guides are like, you have to focus on the world. You have to help the world. You have to help all these people you don't know. And it's like, okay, but what about us? So that's just where I'm at today. That's just what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling like, why can't I simultaneously tune into the world and also keep everybody safe in my family? And this is something that a lot of intuitives deal with, right? We think that if we have gifts, we're supposed to have them all the time. They're supposed to be turned on 24/7. We're supposed to be able to anticipate everything that can go wrong. And of course, that's not realistic. That's not how it works. But knowing that doesn't stop us from wishing that, right? Like who can I protect? Who can I not protect? Right? These are questions that we have as intuitives about our gifts and how to use them. And also something else I want to talk about is, when we're working as intuitives, we have our intuitive gifts, and then we also have our emotions. And sometimes they can get really tangled up and we can be confused. And it's like, am I really worried about this because I'm picking up something intuitively, or do I just have a lot of fear or triggers around this because of my past experiences? And so like right now, I feel kind of, blind precog-wise in terms of the fires because I have my own trauma around that. And so I'm really worried, but I don't know, is that worry legitimate or is it just me, right? And this happens all the time, when you're a psychic. In fact, my sister often says to me when I'm telling her something, she says, okay, is this Jennifer the psychic telling me or Jennifer my sister telling me? Because those are different parts of ourselves, right? And, it's like I teach my students, if you really want to be a good intuitive, if you really want to practice your gifts in the best possible way, you always do it, emotional clearing first. You always do a spiritual clearing. You always set up your sacred space. And we do that emotional inventory so that we can kind of set aside our emotions and then tune in purely with intuition. And so, of course, that's the way we want to work, 90% of the time. But there are some times when we just can't do that, when we just can't set aside our emotions about something. And so in those cases, we have to just be honest with people and say, well, I'm not a reliable source of information right now because I'm too emotionally involved. And people might ask, well, is that true about the joust too? Aren't we all super emotionally involved? We are emotionally involved. And so, but what you should keep in mind about that is that when we're emotionally involved and kind of operating in these lower vibration emotions like fear and anxiety, then we're going to tend to and think that we're intuitively picking up worst case scenarios. What you're typically not going to see is somebody who's in a lot of fear and anxiety predicting a positive outcome. It doesn't really work that way, right? And this is important because I have just felt so validated and confirmed by all of the people who are sharing their dreams about the future, and they're all sharing the same outcome. They're all sharing like a happy ending to a sad story. And that's just not usually how it works when we're distraught and we're trying to tap in and we can't separate ourselves from our emotion. What we tend to do is, predict the worst case scenario. And so like delulu and anxiety and fear don't tend to go together in that way. Like people are like, oh, you're delulu. And yeah, people can say, well, sometimes people go through denial as a stage of grief. You know what though? Like it's a stage. It's not a permanent state. It's not a state that you stay in for 8 weeks. We've been in this state for 8 weeks, this state of anticipating the happy ending, believing wholeheartedly in the happy ending, feeling confident and absolutely sure about a happy ending, despite all the evidence to the contrary. So I guess I just wanted to come in and come on today and talk about that. I'd like to hear from other people about how you navigate your gifts when you're dealing with strong emotions, and also if you can send light to Southern California, that would be great. Send your blessings. Thank you everybody for being in this community. This community is everything.